Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Eastern Kentucky first responders urge folks in our region to be prepared as the rain comes down this week, and state leaders meet to discuss the challenges contributing to the nursing shortage here in the Commonwealth.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's just before 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. I'm Dakota Makris, and the date today is 2/22/22. How fun is that? Lots of little fun fact there. And let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. And Brandon, I was telling you earlier, it was hard for me to get out of bed this morning because I texted our producer this morning. I said, "Is it raining?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, I'm not coming into work. I got to just take a nap." So
nope, you got to get up. It's time to get moving. But somebody might play the lottery with those numbers today. 2/22/22.
Ooh, we should play it.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about this forecast, which is not as fun or as lucky this morning. We're taking a look at that, and you'll see again the possibility for some heavy rain in parts of the eastern half of the area, but a little bit more scattered out to our west, and some more lightning and thunder out there this morning, especially in those areas where it's drying out just a little bit. So be aware of that. Manchester getting ready to get a pretty good little storm this morning, and then over toward going into Harlan and Bell counties there and southern Leslie County. Up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain, pretty quiet this morning except for the rain. It's soggy roads up there, so be careful of that. Temperatures climbing quickly. Only 140 left, and that is 48 in Jonesville. Everybody else in the 50s. Monticello's close to 60 this morning. 70 is our forecast high. Our average high is 51, only 1 degree shy of the record, and we might get to that today, set back on this day in 1992. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. Well, with forecasters predicting several inches of rain possible this week, at least some minor flooding is a good bet. Arliss Williams talked with emergency personnel on the precautions people should take time to better prepare them for the potential risks.
When heavy rainfall hits, creeks and other waterways naturally start to rise, which often leads to flooding across the region.
If you live in a low-lying area, just be aware of where the water will come to, and when you see it approaching, you may want to evacuate to a higher ground.
Deputy Chief with the Hazard Police Department, James East, says being prepared for flooding is key. So if you live in a flood-prone area, it's best to assemble an emergency kit in case you run into any issues.
Yeah, I would always make sure that you've got an emergency kit, not only in your car, but also in your house. That would include blankets, dry clothing, flashlights, things of that nature.
And Perry County Emergency Management Director Jerry Stacy says if you are out on the roads and see a large amount of water across a roadway, turn around and don't drown.
If you have to be out in any water on roadways, make sure that you don't drive through those situations. You just don't know how deep it is. It's not worth taking a risk.
Both East and Stacy say preparation is the most important thing when dealing with a potential flood risk.
You know, be vigilant in keeping up with everything and all your surroundings.
Helping everyone to stay ahead of the rainfall and any problems that might come your way. In Hazard, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, we are told road crews are doing all they can to prepare for the potential rainfall. Well, next week marks 1 year since that historic flooding swept through much of our region and even central Kentucky. Now, for those living in Estill County, that rain broke records, with the Kentucky River reaching a height of 41 feet in the county just last March. County officials say while flooding is something people deal with every year, there is very little the county can do to mitigate these flood threats, and they unfortunately just have to take them as they come.
We just pretty much deal with each flood as it comes and do what we have to get things straightened out the best that we can, and that's about all we can do.
Watson says the county is cleaning out many low water crossings and other culverts across the county that filled up with debris from winter storms, which they hope will help some areas to avoid those issues. After the pandemic caused classrooms across the globe to rely on virtual means of education, Donate Life KY created a virtual program to help students learn more about the importance of organ donation. Donate Life's Life is Cool virtual program is geared towards students from 3rd grade to 5th grade. Now, this program teaches students state-approved science curriculum, all while informing students on how healthy decisions early on can impact their lives in the future.
So the idea is that they go online to lifeisschoolky.org, and while they are there, they are presented with a map. On this map, there's the different places they can stop along their Life is School adventure, and each stop has a different theme. So one of them is the heart, the lungs, nutrition, exercise, and wrapping it up, the 10th station is donation and transplant and registering as a donor.
The program is free and is designed for public school students, private school students, as well as those who are homeschooled. The governor's Team Kentucky Nursing Advisory Committee met yesterday to discuss the challenges contributing to the nursing shortage here in the state. Now, the group is made up with professors, healthcare officials, along with several nursing organizations. The group says some of the biggest things that can change the supply and retention of nurses are quality of patient care and improving education. They will work on creating a final report to send to the governor's office that includes potential solutions and work state leaders can do to help. Kentucky's COVID-19 cases continue to drop, hitting a record low not seen in months. Now, Kentucky added only 969 new cases yesterday and 21 new deaths. The positivity rate is down to 12.74%. Governor Andy Beshear says he's hopeful we'll continue to see cases drop as we head into spring.
It looks like we may be able to have a really good spring and summer, and we certainly hope it holds for longer than that. But trying to be patient just in the next couple weeks to where you don't end up catching COVID and we don't end up with things like schools that can't be open for a couple of days because we just weren't patient enough for those next couple of weeks to get where we need to be. This is really good news overall.
Hospitalizations are also dropping. 76% of Kentuckians who are eligible are now vaccinated. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, schools across the region are revisiting mask mandates, with some districts placing the decision of masking in the hands of families. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a mandate update from the schools in Pike County.
Between conversations with public health officials and discussions with those in education,
we talked to parents, students, teachers, our entire school system, and overall, it was overwhelming that they were ready for us to go to an optional recommended situation.
Both school districts in Pike County are allowing students to unmask.
Some would have liked us to do this sooner. Others would have liked us to wait a little longer. We've had to make the decision based upon when we feel we can have some continuity for our kids.
Pike County schools are making the move this week, with Superintendent Dr. Reed Adkins saying they feel it is a good time to allow families an option.
We recommend that they wear a mask. However, we are making it optional for parents to make that decision.
Pikeville Independent Schools will follow suit next week after similar discussions, saying there are some students in the schools who have never known a day of learning without a mask.
It's going to allow a much greater opportunity for them to grow in those areas. And so we really know that there's an important need for that.
Both superintendents say they wanted to wait until the timing was right, saying they did not want to keep changing the mandate from day to day. And though they believe it is now the right time, they know the situation remains fluid.
So we always make sure that we're paying attention to the things around us, the situations around us, and we always make adjustments that are in the best interest of our kids and staff.
Saying they will always strive to do what is safe and smart to build a better future.
If the numbers were to increase drastically, then we would revisit and possibly move back to a required mask.
For the smiling faces they work to serve each day. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, Pike County's mandate moves to optional and recommended Wednesday. Pikeville Independent will do the same next Monday. The Floyd County Schools mask mandate changes to optional starting today. Several bills are making their way through the General Assembly to change Kentucky's cannabis laws. Senator Morgan McGarvey proposed a bill that would legalize both medical and recreational use. He says it's long overdue and will generate nearly $100 million a year in tax revenue. The owner of a Kentucky CBD shop says legalizing it will be a game changer for everyone.
Well, it's kind of a roller coaster. You know, sometimes you think we can get it over the finish line and sometimes we can't. And everything that Kentucky needs from a huge financial economic impact, it's all right there with medical and with recreational.
Well, that bill has a long journey ahead to clear through Kentucky's Republican supermajority legislature. Kentucky lawmakers may consider a bill to give cities and counties more power to pass their own rules dealing with smoking and vaping. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more from Frankfort about the bill.
Senate Bill 166 would allow cities or counties or other local governments the ability to adopt tougher rules or restrictions than the state allows when it comes to smoking or vaping products.
There's nothing really to be gained by vaping, especially people who are non-smokers, non-vapers. There's nothing to be gained by starting.
It comes as vaping stores are gaining in popularity, and many even advertise that it's less harmful than tobacco.
That may be true, limited, okay? The problem is we don't know in 5 or 10 or 20 years what vaping is going to do to the lungs.
I spoke with the owner of 4 Lexington vape stores. He says this bill would be extremely damaging because they would have to fight regulation in every city and county. And he says that would be also damaging to thousands of mom and pop style businesses that employ a lot of people. Tony Florence of 723 Vapor says vaping products generate a lot of tax revenue for the state. And he says this bill would be hurtful to a product that he says is less harmful than cigarettes. Dr. Fox says vaping is still concerning, though, for young people.
Can probably, with the nicotine, affect, brain development in young people. It can also be addictive.
The bill is sponsored by Senator Will Schroeder of Northern Kentucky, and if passed, it would impact the use, sale, or distribution of tobacco or vapor products. In Lexington, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, the bill has been assigned to the Senate Health and Welfare Committee, but has not yet been called up for a vote.
Coming up on 610 this morning, we continue to track some strong storms and some rain across our region this morning. Our neighbors out in Arkansas, though, dealing with tornado warnings this morning. So thankfully, we're not seeing that. We're continuing to watch those heavy pockets of rain come down, but we're going to get a break a little bit later today, and we could see our own strong storms a little bit later tonight. We look at estimated rainfall. If it actually pops up here, we're seeing, again, the possibility for up to about 1.7 inches of rain there in the area I just highlighted for you. And temperatures are going up this morning with those warm south winds. Only 40 we have left is 48 in Jonesville. Everybody else in the 50s and even close to 60 in Monticello. Look at how much of that has changed since yesterday. 23 degrees warmer this morning in London, 22 in Ashland, 25 in Middlesboro. 70 today, 40% chance of rain early, 90% chance of rain late. And of course, we've got those AM and PM chances. Those PM chances could be on the stronger side. So we're keeping an eye on a lot of things. Flood watch in effect through for most of the region through tomorrow morning. Storms possible later. Some of those could be on the stronger side, and a soggy week in general is ahead. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. It's 6:11 now. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, the world watches for signs of a Russian invasion over in Ukraine as tensions between the two countries continues.